Now,
No, this is video. This is video.
And who's going to see it?
Whoever's going to edit it.
The people in the art show next week. They didn't know about the art show.
Like on YouTube or...
Oh, these two didn't know about the art show.
Probably because I was at work or something.
Yeah, probably so. We talked about it, but it's been a while back, and now it's coming up, and so I know Debbie, and some can't go. So when you can't go, you just dismiss it. That's not for me, right? Anyway, but and I don't know who all's going either. Yeah. But let's talk
Is anybody other than you, Carol, going?
Debbie's going. And if you guys,
it depends on. I go for
if you go for your interview today,
and then I think the reason we didn't talk to Misty is because she was going home. Her plan was to go home, and now she's planning on staying.
Good.
And so we're going to talk about
You
that.
should really come.
Be praying for Misty. She's moving down here, and she needs a place.
She's panicking right now.
She's panicking.
I've heard that.
And you know that
Not
house.
heard you're panicking, but I heard that you're.
The house because she needs to bring her kid. She needs to either go home in 2 or 3 weeks or bring her kids down here. There's nowhere to bring them, and home wouldn't be good for her. And so she's like, I gotta have a plan. What am I gonna do? I don't know yet, but we'll get it worked out.
That's right. Okay.
And so, because I don't want you going home. I've always thought that it's too late.
Well, I look back and I wasn't even in addiction when I lived in a little town. I mean, little towns talk even whether it's true or not or whatever, you know, they just make stuff up.
My sister drove me to the store to get cigarettes, and I had a duck her vehicle because when I pulled up, there was 5 people that I already knew, and every one of them I used to buy from.
Yeah,
she ducked. You ducked.
I ducked, and I said, "What are you going to buy from me?" She said, "Cigarettes." I touched cigarettes. Why can't you just be strong? I was like, I want to see these people.
Okay. Well, let's talk about this stuff because for my grandson.
You might have to read them to us.
Okay. I can. So, what is the most? Let's just everybody answer this question. What is the most beautiful scene you can take in your mind's eye? What is the most beautiful scene that you can imagine?
Let's begin with y'all.
Okay. Mine would be the ocean. And the way it, the waves and all the, because I've seen dolphins and sharks and everything, and it just.
Oh, when we did our little imagination. What?
No, whenever I went on a ferry boat thing or whatever, when I put my car on it.
Port Aransas? Down at Corpus or what? Port Aransas?
I went to Corpus too, and then somewhere in California.
Oh.
What's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen?
Are you recording me? Okay, no, you're. Oh. I just said it, didn't I?
Well, she said imagine. I was wondering what you've seen.
Yeah, the ocean.
The ocean. Why?
Because of the waves and everything in it, and because I've seen dolphins.
What did you experience when you saw that?
God. I experienced how I was just like he done all this, and it was beautiful to me because it was like, who else could have done all this? Nobody but God. So,
that's good.
So it was really, really beautiful to me, and then the waves, and stuff.
Have you seen much artwork, like in galleries or anything like that?
Online and just like at the what's that place called?
The Goddard.
Yes, the Goddard Center. I really looked at that art. I thought it was really neat.
Is there anything in your memory that stands out, like art that struck you? Something beautiful you've seen?
Yes. What's that place called again?
The Goddard Center.
The Goddard Center. When we went for that the guitar musical thing.
Oh yeah.
They had the mountains, the artists. I don't know if they drew them or they were actually. I think they shot photos of them at real places in the mountains. It
was Robert Smart's work, and he looked up instead of down.
Yes,
it was
so beautiful.
Yeah,
and just all the detail and stuff in them, and
the rocks and stuff.
Yeah, that really, really stuck out to me. I thought it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
That's good. And so she answered the next question. How do you think God speaks through beauty? What is the most beautiful experience you've ever had?
When I had my babies.
Mm-hmm.
Because then again, that was from God, and that's the most beautiful experience I ever had.
That's sweet. That brought tears to my eyes. That's so sweet. And so that's the artwork that's spoken to you, even the music and the art, or just the art. What about the music that we heard?
The music, it was.
The rain and the thunder.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Any ideas about my answer, honey? And I like the storm. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Describe how your baby is a work of art.
Because it's something that, you know, God placed in me that, you know, and He made that He, you know, made something like that grow in my womb that, you know, and He designed it exactly how He wanted it. He knew what my babies were going to look like before, you know, I even had them. So that, to me, is definitely a work of art.
That's good.
When you look at your kids, what part of their body do you pay attention to?
Oh, every little thing.
What do you see? Describe it.
I look at their hands, their feet, their little nails. In fact, I even cut off all 10 nails and put them in a little baggie, save them just to see how much it will be. You know, when they get older, they can see how little bitty they were, and you know, and how much they grow. And I look at their ears and their eyes, their head, everything.
What do you see when you look into their eyes?
Beauty and life.
And how does that work with your sobriety? What does that teach you about this journey?
That God, they're my children. Yes, God gave them to me. They're actually His, and you know, that was a blessing from Him and a gift, and I need to care for something that He gave me after all He's done for us, you know, and He gave me one of His children to take care of, and that's what I need to do. So it definitely pushes me to stay sober.
That's good.
You think art will be a part of your walk as you go forward?
Yes, I do now, especially. I really didn't ever think about art before, and actually until I got the job that God wanted me to have, because I'm always one to talk a lot, and whenever I got my job at the nursery, I was around nothing but plants at first, but now it's busy, so I'm around people now, but it gave me a chance to talk to God, and whenever I'm watering the plants or whatever I'm doing to them and stuff, I look at it like, I really get into it, like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. How did He do this? You know, and it's a living thing on top of that, so it makes it even more neater. But yeah, now I do, and now I look at the birds and stuff, which I never did. You know, I never done before. I look at, I mean, when it rains and storms and stuff, I'll look at the clouds and think, that's just so neat how He did all this. So yeah, now art will definitely help me in my sobriety, I think, because like I said, I never looked at anything like that before, and when the birds chirp and stuff, it's a really neat thing that He done.
Why didn't you look at it before?
Because I was blinded in my addiction. I didn't even think about God or think about any of that stuff before. I was just too in my addiction to even care, much less care about myself, so why would I care about anything else?
So now you can look.
Yep.
You can walk.
Now I can see I'm not blind anymore.
Praise God.
That's good. That's good. That's very good.
She's beautiful, isn't she?
You both are.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, what do you think?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, what the first question?
What's the most beautiful scene? Imagine the most beautiful scene. What does your mind's eyes see?
I had told him earlier, like, the mountains, but I have to change it. The Grand Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
I could just, I could stand there all day and look at it. It's so deep. It's so, you just wonder how, God made this. How in the world? He's a mighty God. It's beautiful. I didn't want to leave. I didn't. Just let me stand here.
It captivated you.
Yeah, very captivated. Breathtaking. Just in awe the whole time. Loved it. But I had a lot of beautiful scenes when I was growing up. My parents had a cabin in Colorado, so the Colorado's probably the most beauty that there is, I think, in the United States.
Can you describe one of your scenes from your childhood? Something you remember from that?
It would have to be going up. They call it Red Mountain Pass, I believe. It's going from from Durango to Silverton, and if you fall off the side of the road, it's a long ways down, but going through there and looking and seeing what the beauty and the masterpiece, that God has done. It's just some spectacular things, plus waterfalls. The waterfalls, I have a lot of pictures of the waterfalls. They're so beautiful. Probably the animals, deers, and we've seen bears. We've been a lot of fishing, a lot of trout fishing there as a kid, and what popped up in my mind, a snake once when we were fishing. What else? We just love the mountains. My daddy was an alcoholic, and when he'd start drinking, he'd drive through the passes, and he was going real fast, and I'd be real scared, crying and stuff. Mom would just tell me, get down on the floorboard, not look. But it was scary too. It was scary at those times too. But he was a good guy. He was a really good guy. He just had a drinking problem.
So, other than majesty, something spectacular, when you've experienced beauty, this could be for either one of you, what else have you heard? Whether it's God or what, did you hear yourself say something? Have you heard something and felt something, said something to yourself that you remember in a time of a moment of beauty? You heard something, you just noticed something. And maybe it wasn't in nature, maybe it was with a kid, but you just saw something, a spark, and you understood something you never understood before.
I've only had one experience when God verbally talked to me, and just praying and asking Him, what should I do? What should I do? And He hollered. I was the only one in the room. I had to look around to see who said it. He hollered at me, and it was just in a time where I just really needed Him to answer me.
What did He say?
He said, "Stay put." Stay put. It was, that's where He wanted me to be at that time. I think you have to go through some bad things. Even though He told me to stay put, I went through some bad things after that, but then it's brought me back, It's brought me back to, you just have to go through these bad things to realize how great and how good He is. And just quit, just stop thinking just about what you want and think about what He wants, and He knows what's best for you.
Like Misty, have you Have you do you use your eyes differently? You use your ears differently since you've been in recovery?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
How so?
Like my friend has on her screensaver a flower, just a big old yellow rose.
Mm.
And you know, I could just sit and look at that rose. You know, the beauty of just that rose.
Mm-hmm.
It, you know, just all the creation. I have a lot of gratitude for everything now.
Mm.
For a pillow,
Mm.
you know, things that you didn't have at one time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you thank God for it. And it just make you realize that all those years, you really wasn't grateful. You didn't thank God that much. You didn't appreciate Him. I didn't. No.
One of the questions on here is, how would you express yourself through art?
Well, I'm just, of course, I'm an Indian. I'm part Indian, but through art, I like the Southwest. I'm anxious to paint on canvases. When I was at treatment, I saw canvas painting, and you know, they'd made teepees and put them on lamps. You know, they're lampshades, and I'd really love to get into that, to do that. While I was there, I, you know, learned how to weave baskets. I'd never learned how to weave baskets, make jewelry. What else did I do? I made a medicine bag, and learned that you're only supposed to put something sacred in it. You're not supposed to just carry it around like a purse. You know? And what I chose to be sacred was my chips I got there. You know, sobriety chip, and then the chip that they gave me the treatment from the treatment. And it's a beautiful saying. I'd have to go get it, but anyways, you know, just to remind me of how good it was for me. It was very, very good for me. It was also good that I knew God when I went to treatment this time, a personal relationship, because I've been before, but I didn't have that personal relationship. My regret is treatment centers not being able to incorporate God into their treatment. You know, it's not that we're not supposed to talk about God, but it's just, you know, some people don't look at it the way, you know, some people do, like I do. But
So those chips are sacred.
yeah.
What do they symbolize for you?
They symbolize sobriety. They symbolize a hope for the future. They have meaning that where I've come from and where I am today. And the fellowship, the love that I developed with other people there in treatment. Just the camaraderie, the laughs and the tears, and the, you know, we had grins and gripes. You know, that's one of our things. You know, every morning to talk about your grins, talk about your gripes. But it was peaceful there. I felt it was peace, it was joy, it was love. It was what I wanted, what I needed.
Thank you. What about you? If you were going to express yourself with art, what would you do?
Probably
Anything you can imagine.
Probably like traveling the world and taking pictures of all the beautiful things that God created. That's how I would. Yeah. I'm not much on art of, you know, on making things and stuff, but that's what I would do, is get me a good camera and go around the world and I mean, that'd be a lot of things to take pictures of because he's just created so much beautiful, things and art and.
And why would you want to do that?
To really, I would want to do that to show people that have been blinded by everything like I have, to give them hope and let them know that he's real. Because when you're blinded by your addiction and stuff, you don't see all that. And I remember when I was younger, because my dad and stuff also took me to like the Hoover Dam and the Grand Canyon and all those places, and we got all those pictures, and that was all beautiful to me then. But then after I started doing bad things and stuff, I didn't remember any of that stuff anymore. And now that I look back on it, it was such a beautiful experience to be able to do that. And there's so much more out there, and you can also help others with that art and stuff by showing them by it. Now they might not at the time care, but it's something they can look back on when they do decide to get clean and say, oh, that was beautiful, and notice it all like I do now.
Great. Well,